Hello, welcome to episode 6 of my audio adventures. Today we are going to talk about, last episode I said we're going to talk about how spending money can increase your creativity. I probably should have reworded it. I should have said how new toys could increase your creativity, because that just sounds so much better. So today we're going to talk about how new toys can increase your creativity. And here is what I mean. And I'm going to give you an example of myself. So for me, there's this really cool drum on Sweetwater that I want. Sweetwater.com. Good place to shop. They give you candy. And it's called a wave drum, more specifically the Wave Drum Global, made by Korg. And what it is it is essentially an electric drum that has 200 instrument samples built into it. And on top of that, the drum head has several sensors in it, so that depending on where you hit it, how you hit it, whether there's something else touching the drum or not while you hit it, it'll make different sounds. And I heard somebody else use it, like they put it on a cymbal stand along with their drum set, and they played it along with their drum set, and it just sounded amazing, and you couldn't distinguish the fact that it was an electric instrument next to an acoustic one. So that's something that I want. And it's $600. So it's, it's incredibly pricey. Now, why would I want to spend $600 on that? Well, I'm not a drum player. I don't know how to play a drum set. I know how to play a djembe drum a little bit because I took a world music class. And a lot of the sounds that are on the wave drum I can actually use with my sample libraries that I have, mostly the East-West ones. So why would I need it? Well, there's a big difference between plugging in MIDI commands, using a mouse or a keyboard, and being able to go through the motions of playing a drum. And so if I had that wave drum, I'd be able to plug it into my my interface and just record myself playing on it. And sure, I might not know how to play drums, but I can at least do a good enough job to almost entirely replace using MIDI commands, and it would sound significantly more human on top of that. And it'd be cool. Like, I could just, I do actually have an itty bitty amp. I can take an amp with me and play elsewhere, just for fun. So, the point of that is, what you gain from spending money is, first of all, more fun, and more creativity, and more efficiency. Like, those three things together, all at the same time, there's nothing wrong with that. At least that's what I say to justify my purchases. Now, this kind of goes on to, last episode I mentioned how some people will have keyboards that are seemingly the same, because when you first see keyboards, you see them and they all look like they should function exactly the same, even if they look a little bit different. And so some people get confused as to why when they walk into a studio there's like 6 keyboards, 8 keyboards, 10 keyboards, and like redundant other hardware lying about. And there's actually a relatively good reason for that. I mean, first of all, not all keyboards do the same thing. I mean, you could get several keyboards from the same exact company that look exactly the same, but there are little things that they do differently. Maybe they sound different. Maybe they're wired a little bit differently and changes up the sound even more. Maybe they have a couple extra features that'll help that'll help you make even more different sounds. My keyboard comes with like over 150 preset instruments on it, and a vast majority of other keyboards do too. So buying multiple keyboards, although it seems a little bit redundant, helps you gain new ideas. If I were to have two keyboards that were approximately the same, but they both had different presets, it would mean that I could go onto one keyboard, play around with all the functions that it has, get a few ideas, go to my other keyboard, play around with some of the functions that it has, and then all of a sudden, voila! New idea. And the other thing is that there's a lot of gear that, that'll actually function as something that you might need. Like, some keyboards will function as a nice control surface. Some keyboards will function as good synthesizers. So that's why people tend to go around and buy seemingly repetitive items, at least when they have the money for it, and occasionally when they don't have the money for it. So while I have you here, I wanted to bring something up. I was on the internet searching for new laptops. I mentioned previously, mine has reached its peak performance ability. And not to mention the fact that it's old. I'm actually really, really happy that it's still working. And actually, while I'm on the subject of computers, if you are searching for computers, don't listen to too many of the reviews that say, this company sucks, go to this company. Because there are a lot of people that hate on Dell, and my laptop is a Dell Inspiron, and it's lasted me a good while. Like, it's almost 4 years old now, and it's been doing a fantastic job for me. So when you're looking for a new laptop or desktop, take all the reviews with a grain of salt and just get something that has the functions that you need. And then worry about whether or not the company is reliable. Or rather, try to find other sources of information regarding whether or not a company is reliable. Don't use consumers, because consumers are weird. Okay, so back on the original topic that I was going to mention. I was on the internet, and I Googled a question. I asked, where can I get a powerful studio laptop for cheap? Just to see if there were any answers, and I came across this forum. And it's, the forum is called newproducers.com, futureproducers.com, something like that. And this one guy asked the same exact question I did. And the first person that responded actually gave him an answer. And I kept flipping through, and there was 5 pages to this thread in a forum. And it was 5 pages of hate. Basically, there are a bunch of people that say that anybody that wants to use a laptop for studio production is stupid, or dumb, or an idiot, or shouldn't bother being in studio production. And that hurts. Like, it's your opinion versus other people's opinions. And there's no reason to get angry about it. I mean, so many people were angry at the fact that people would use laptops for this kind of thing. You know, yeah, a lot of us understand that desktops are cheaper and more powerful, but sometimes we like to wander. I'm not trying to defend one side of the conversation or another. I'm just trying to mention that getting angry over something that is solely based off of people's opinions is, especially something like this, a war between, oh, you should use desktops, or, oh, I want to use a laptop. Getting angry over something like that is ridiculous, and it's pointless. I mean, we're trying to be creative, and you do that whatever method possible. If that method is spending another $400 to have a little bit of mobility, it's what I do. I'm okay with it. I am perfectly okay with the fact that I'm going to get a laptop that is a little bit more expensive than a desktop and doesn't quite perform as well as a desktop, because I am willing to apply a price to my creativity and as well a price to my freedom. Government, don't read into that too much. In order to move around and do my work as well as my fun, because my laptop is dual purpose, my work and my fun someplace other than just my workspace. And on top of that, not everybody has good studio monitors, not everybody has a actual studio. So that was the other argument that came up, is that you should only be doing your work in your studio. And not everybody has those things. I've got my studio monitors are $30 that I got on eBay, and they function very well. I mean, I now know the difference between how my headphones sound, my studio monitor sound, and my laptop speakers sound, and as well as the speakers at my part-time job, because I listen to my music there too. And now that I know the difference between all of those, I can make educated guesses as to how to fix up my music if I need to. And once it comes time to render, I'll render it here in my bedroom. I mean, I do understand that listening through your studio monitors is important. But my headphones are actually pretty good and give a nice even sound. So, I mean, just try not to be angry over an art. Try to encourage people. If you think that people should be using desktops rather than laptops, that's fine. That's cool. It's your opinion. But don't try to force your opinion on other people. I brought this up because it was kind of upsetting. It was upsetting to see a bunch of people get angry over something so ridiculous as whether or not people should be using desktops or laptops. Yeah, that's about what I have to say. Just don't be angry. Don't be angry. There's no reason for it. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. If you like the video, like and or subscribe. And I will talk to you next time I put up a video. Have a great day.